All right, hello.
Hello.
Welcome, guys, to episode 38 of Hello Hello the podcast. I am your host, Raammo, and this is Jenz.
Hi.
Welcome. Jenz, we got a pretty diverse episode this week. We have, it feels like a little bit of everything, you know?
Yeah, I think it's a good
we
one
got
today.
it's gonna be a fun one, you know, it's gonna be a fun one. But as always, I do want to start off by asking, what have you been up to for the past week, man? Like, what have you been doing?
Good question. What have I been doing?
I feel the same, honestly. I feel the same.
I know every week's been a blur. It just feels the same.
Dude, it's been going so fast. It's not even funny.
And
Like,
yeah, we're
yeah,
like at the end of the year soon. Crazy.
it's incredible. Yeah.
Oh, I played Tome, which
Oh yeah, I did see a little bit of that.
you are curious about.
I am very curious about. Yeah.
It's cute. It's like this point and click adventure game, but the primary thing in it is you have a camera and you take photos, which is
Yeah.
nice. It's the perfect game. I've said this already. If you're sick or just need a game to play in bed, that is the perfect game for it.
It's just a nice little cozy game. You know?
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing like you don't have to have like fast reflexes. You don't have to have
Not at
like
all.
you don't have to be like sort of involved in the story at every second turn. Like it's just like it's very relaxing, sort of casual, just enjoyable, fun little indie game. You
Exactly.
know?
It's cute.
And it's it is. It looks very cute. I didn't watch too much of it because I didn't want sort of any of the puzzles or like any of the sort of experiences to be
Yeah,
spoiled
fair.
a little bit. So because I think I am going to pick it up. It seems like it'd be a fun one to play like with your partner as well on the couch or something like that, or someone that doesn't like play a lot of video games because it like the premise is quite simple. It's like you're sort of given like a rough idea of like what you're going to take a photograph of. You're going to take a photograph, bring it back to that person. Like it's just it's there's nothing too in depth about it, but it's just a nice little fun game. So
Yeah, exactly.
and it's quite cheap too. I think it's like $25 or something like that on
Something like
Steam at the
that.
moment.
Yeah.
So it's quite accessible, for a lot of people too. Jen's did tell me, she was like, probably don't get it on PC because it's not really like a PC game. If you can get it on a console or something that you can sit back on the couch and sort of chillax with and play. But yes, yeah, it seems cute. It seems fun. I'm here for it. We love cute and fun games.
Yeah.
So it's your Tome. Check it out, Tome.
What about you?
I haven't been playing too much. I have been. There's a lot of talk about New World. This week, obviously,
Yeah.
because it's come out and it's
We'll
released
talk about
finally.
that
It's
a
out of
little
its
bit
betas and
later.
things like that. We are going to talk a little bit about that later. But I've been sort of still, dancing around the fence of
Of
am I
getting
gonna get
it?
it? Am I gonna play it? Like I don't know. Maybe if they had a trial or something like that, I feel like, and I know I missed my chance with the betas to sort of try it, but I was just busy when they came out and I couldn't really, figure out a time slot to play it. But it's like I don't know if I want to drop $60 on
Yeah,
this,
it's not.
and it's good. Like it's cheap compared to some other modern AAA games as well that are coming out. Obviously, so it's not the price that scares me. It's just the fact that it's like I don't know if I want to drop $60 on a game that I don't know if I'm gonna sort of just invest the time into. It seemed interesting and it seemed like I would enjoy it from what I saw people play of it, but it was just I don't know if I have the time to invest in it, which is a lot of these games. It's like one of the big things. So
Yeah, and
that's the
it's
thing that's holding me back at the moment is
fair
just that
enough.
time investment, you know. Um, but it's I'll be interested to see like as more and more people sort of get their hands on it and their servers open up. I think by the time we're recording it now, everywhere in the world their servers should be open up. So there's tons of people playing it. So there'll be heaps of content around it that I can sort of watch and see if I
Oh
really will
yeah, that's for sure.
want to commit to it. But
Which is so everyone's
it's
playing New World right now.
it felt like everyone's playing it. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
incredible. It's cool though when these sort of big games do come out and it just like everyone is on it. Like it's real cool to see. It's like it's sort of like a big cultural phenomenon. Like in the gaming
Yeah,
world,
it is.
whenever you see all these people just playing one game, it's like holy shit. That's it's pretty cool to see. So, but yeah, other than that, nothing too crazy. Just been doing my same old thing, sitting inside.
Nice.
Nothing incredible, you know. Uh, but yeah. Anywho, Jens,
Mm,
without further ado, shall we get into the news topics for this week?
let's do it.
Alrighty. Now this one,
Yeah.
I snuck this one in right before we started
Yeah, you
recording
did.
because it kind of excites me. But we got a really random Pokemon news drop, just like out of the blue. There was no like Nintendo Direct announcement. There was no announcement that they were going to show this stuff like later in the week, which is typically what they do. They just were like when it was like 11:30 or something like that last night, and they were like, boom, new Pokemon trailers, and it was kind of uninteresting trailers. They weren't too
Oh,
crazy, but I
really?
thought I would touch on them just because I'm a Pokemon fan. So it was
Yeah.
like um, but yeah. Anywho's ahead of the release of the Pokemon Diamond and Pearl remakes, and as well, the new Pokemon Legends Arceus that's coming out right at the start of next year. Um, like I said, Nintendo dropped two little trailers. Each trailer just sort of touches on some of the things that you'll be able to do like in each game. So they sort of just reinforced all of the sort of features and things like that that's going to be in each game. And we got our first introduction to a lot of the sort of side and assist characters that are going to be in the series as well, which is kind of fun. And then surprisingly, in the Legends Arceus trailer, they gave us a look at a brand new Scyther evolution, which is pretty crazy because a lot of people have been wanting to see some of these like first gen Pokemon get sort of more evolutions because some of them only have like one evolution or they don't have an evolution at all still.
Mm-hmm.
So it's cool to see that like Pokemon go back and give love to some of these like original characters. Um, and from what I've seen, a lot of people are big fans of the new Scyther evolution. So, you know, I guess they've done a good job.
Okay.
I'm pretty excited for it. So it'd be interesting to see how it all works in, the game and stuff like that. But yeah, that was sort of, I just wanted to touch on it, in case you guys missed it. There were new Pokemon news stuff. So, we are only a month, just over a month now away from the Diamond and Pearl remakes, which is super exciting. I can't wait. I feel like that's what I'm going to be spending, the whole month of November and December playing. It's just
Yeah.
Pokemon. So, and it's good too because I got my timetables for my uni exams,
Oh,
and I think
wow.
I only have one exam. I have one like in the exam block. One of my exams is in the final week in the final lecture. It's like an essay thing.
Oh, cool.
Um,
That's
so
great.
it's not part of the essay. Sorry, it's not part of the essay. It's not part of the exam block itself, but it's like it's still a final exam. But then my only other exam is on the 1st of November at 11 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
So by the time these Pokemon games come out, I'll be a free man for the rest of the year, and I'll be able to dedicate all my time to Pokemon, which is great. Um, but yeah, so super excited for all this stuff. Like I said, the trailers were kind of unimpressive past those few things, but it was still cool to see that they wanted to announce some more things just to help reinforce people's decision in buying the games. I guess.
Yeah, totally.
I do want to ask you, Jens, are you excited? Because I know you're not the biggest Pokemon person.
Mm.
Are you going to check them out? Are you going to give them a go?
I want to try, but I'm not sure yet.
Okay.
I don't know
Well, do you
where
know
I
what's
should
holding you?
start.
Do you know what's holding you back?
What?
Like, do
Oh,
you know
do
what's
I
holding you
know?
back? Like yeah, like is there one thing that's like, oh, I don't know if I want to like, because obviously it's a big time investment to have to try and, as the saying goes, got to catch them all. Like, I
Yeah.
know it's a big time investment to sort of go and try and catch all the Pokemon and things like that. Is it something like that, or is it just like you've never really had an interest in the series, or?
I guess because I just don't know what it's about, and there are so many of them. I don't know where to start. Um, and I think it was Nino Kuni where you like encounter a baddie and you have to fight them. And this happened
Yeah.
like at least 5 times on one trail from getting to somewhere else. And that kind of
Yeah.
annoyed
Okay.
me. So if it's something like that, I don't know how I'll feel about it. You know?
Yeah, I kind of get that.
But
It can get a bit sort of grindy. I
yeah.
guess.
But I think the thing about Pokemon is like the appeal of you don't know who you can catch. Whereas the other
Yeah.
one, Nino Kuni, it's like the same three,
Yeah, it sort of felt
monsters.
like a monotonous sort of
Yeah.
battle of, it was, yeah. No, I can get, and so I do sometimes feel like with Pokemon too, you know, it
Right.
can get a bit monotonous at times, but I think, you know, especially for me and I guess a lot of other people too, like we grew up with Pokemon. Like I know
Mm-mm-mm.
I grew up watching the anime and collecting the cards and all that sort of stuff. And I still do to a certain point. I have seen some of the new series of the animes that they're putting out, and I do still collect the Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
So I have a big nostalgia for the series, and probably so do a lot of other people, which is why they continue to play them.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, I honestly, I don't know if it'd be too simple because the Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, they were like quite dumbed down versions of Pokemon, heavily targeted towards like a younger audience and whatnot. But I
Do you
honestly would
think
recommend
I
them
will
as
like
like
that?
I was gonna say as an entry point to the series, just to sort of wrap
Yeah.
your head around like the concept of the battles and all that sort of stuff. I feel like it is a pretty good entrance to the
Okay.
series itself. And then if you do find that it's too simple, you can obviously move on to like playing Sword and Shield or
Yeah.
something like that. That is more that's a mainline Pokemon game. So
Yeah. Like
it's yeah.
I grew up with Pokemon. I had a lot of Pokemon like within my
Yeah,
childhood.
you would have been born around the time that it was all sort of
Yeah, well, it was
blowing up,
peak.
shortly
Yeah.
after it was yeah, exactly.
So, and I want to have an excuse to buy the plushies, and I also there's
Yeah.
some cool wall art that I've seen recently, but I don't play Pokemon, so maybe this will be
I
a good
mean
excuse.
I feel like the Pokemon sort of fandom aren't
Yeah,
gatekeepy, like obviously,
that's true.
like and it's like yeah, I don't watch anime per se, but like I can say that a lot of the creatures say in some of the animes that I've just seen screenshots of like, "Oh, that's cute." Like I'd like to see that on a t-shirt and wear that. Like you don't have to be a
Yeah,
diehard fan of the series to be able to like, just wear these things. It's like the thing where you like a lot of girls wear like Nirvana shirts and they go out
yeah,
to a
yeah,
bar and then the guy comes up and name six Nirvana songs. You don't know.
yeah.
You don't know. Like it's kind of like that. I feel like the Pokemon fandom isn't like that.
Mm.
If you like Pikachu, go and buy a Pikachu t-shirt. Like you don't have to be a diehard fan and watch the whole series. So, but yeah, I honestly would recommend Pokemon. It is a great sort of game. It's very fun to just sort of lay back in bed at the end of the day and just run around and catch cute little pocket monsters. Um,
Yeah, maybe
it's
I
yeah.
will try and
Uh,
pick it up later today.
Yeah. And I feel like these remakes too, the Diamond and Pearl ones specifically, are gonna be another good entry point
That's
because
true.
they're remakes of some very beloved games in the franchise. So
Mm.
it'd be a it'd be a good point to sort of, jump into it all again as well. Um
Well,
but yeah, moving on, gents.
yeah.
Oh, sorry, yeah. But no, do pick it up, do pick it up.
I'll report back to you later.
Yeah, exactly. Moving on, we did touch on New World a little bit earlier in the
Yes.
episode. But Jens, I know your husband has been sort of struggling with this a little bit last night.
He
Um,
managed to get in, which is very surprising. Only after
oh, he
three
did.
hours
Yeah, see,
of
I thought,
waiting.
yeah, who was it? Was it
It
you or was
was,
it Hula that said, "Nah, it can't be 3. It can't be 4." I said roughly 4 hours because people are gonna like, they're gonna get tired of waiting. They're gonna
yeah.
give up. They're gonna quit. They're gonna. And you were like,
It,
"Nah, come on, surely it's like
well,
3 days."
I
But
was going off the count of Steph's queue, which
see, so
was
I
12,000.
I don't want to say I told you so, but like
No, 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 no.
I did tell you
That's,
so.
hey, look, I was basing it off the 12,000 queue, not the 1,700 queue, all right? Anyways, New World came
Anywho,
out,
yeah.
if you don't know. And there are a lot of people playing it. Like a
Mm,
lot. It's reached a queue number of around 20,000 people for the more popular servers. I think
that's
this is
incredible.
mostly based on America, the American
It would have
servers.
been yeah, US and EU because I think the EU servers were the first to go live, and so I feel
Right.
like a lot of people on the east coast of America can probably get away with accessing some of the European servers with not too heavy ping and whatnot. So I feel like they would have been
Hmm.
hit quite hard too, because they would have been the first to go live.
Yeah,
Um,
right.
but yeah, yeah. Sorry, go on.
So yeah, so the reports say that one particular US West server called El Dorado
Mm.
is the one to go to because I think all the big streamers are filling that one up. So they were
Ah,
all
okay,
like
yeah.
funneled into that one, trying to see if they
Yeah.
can,
Yeah.
meet Shroud in the game. um,
Yeah. That's very understandable.
yeah, and apparently there were 700,000 people that launched the game that on launch.
See, that doesn't surprise me at all. I feel
That's
like,
insane.
you'd you'd kind of expect it to even get closer to 1,000,000. Like, it
You
already is on the
reckon?
close side to 1,000,000, but, like, yeah, I feel like this game had enough buzz around it and sort of enough
Yeah.
hype that this was kind of expected. Um It's yeah, because it is like I was in last night. We were talking to a couple of friends in the Discord call,
Mm.
and I was like, one of them was like, I sort of just don't get the hype around it, and I'm like, well, it's just like I think it's just a new MMO, a new fresh MMO that people, everyone loves MMOs, and they always want to get in
Yeah.
fresh and like start a new one and things like that. Because after a while of grinding World of Warcraft for like 600 years or whatever,
Mm.
you get kind of sick of it, and you want something different, you want something new, you want something fresh. So when a new one does come around and it has a big AAA sort of budget and studio and stuff behind it, uh, and like all these cool new features and stuff, it's
Yeah.
very exciting. Because people just like to sink time into these things. Like they're not like
Absolutely.
sort of you or I where we sort of just play multiple different games sort of throughout the week,
Mm.
but they just play MMOs. Like that's all they do.
Yeah.
Is it like, okay, I just want to have a second life on this Eldorado server and just play a totally new character for 755 hours, like, which is
See,
fine, you
I've
know.
never gotten to a stage of my life that I've wanted to do that.
Me neither.
Like,
Me
I
neither.
have
Yeah.
had games where I'm like, I really want to finish this, but
Mm.
I've never had. Well, I've never really played MMOs, but I've never had a moment where like I just want to live in this world and not do anything else.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
Which is
I'm the
why I'm
same too.
like
And
not sure if I want to play this game because I'm not
yeah.
a
And that
huge MMO
that's
person.
from that example, that's probably like an
Yeah.
exaggerated example too. Like not everyone is
No,
like
not
I
everyone,
just want to play World of War like 24/7, and like this
but
is
a
the
lot of
world that I want to
people
live in. A lot of people
do.
do, and you could probably say that there is some psychological reason for that. Like it's they're not
Oh, yeah.
they might not be happy like in their normal day-to-day lives or something
Yeah.
like that, and so they just want to like vent out in World of Warcraft because it is a lot simpler for or what have you. But that's a deeper topic for another time. But yeah, I think the one draw for me that I just haven't gotten into these big MMO games is
Mm.
just a lot of them to me feel like it's just one giant fetch quest. And I kind of despise fetch quests a little bit.
Yeah.
Like it sometimes they just rub me the wrong way
Yeah, like
because it's just like when World of Warcraft Classic came out and I'm like,
mm.
okay, I
Did you
never
try
I
it?
never played World of Warcraft. No, I've never ever
Oh,
played it.
okay,
Oh, actually,
gotcha.
sorry, that's a lie. I have played it for like maybe an hour and a half or 2 hours, something like that, when I went over to my friend's place
Yeah.
in high school. But it's I've never understood why people are like, I just want to go here, click a couple of things, collect 16 boar skin, take it back to this guy, get 595 gold. It's just you know but
Yeah.
to each their own. Everyone likes different things. A lot of people can say that the gameplay in Call of Duty or Rainbow Six Siege or
I
what have
mean,
you
true.
is repetitive, and they're not wrong, it is.
But
But it's
I think the main appeal for MMOs are doing it with friends. Same with
Exactly,
us. So
yeah.
you can argue that
Exactly.
Siege is very repetitive. It is. You have to protect
Yeah.
a bomb
Yeah.
or defuse the bomb. Um,
And there's like 8 maps.
yeah. It's doing that thing over and over and over again. But I guess
Mhm,
for
mhm.
us, it's, or at least the way I enjoy it is because the people I'm playing with, it's just
Yeah,
a nice monotonous thing to do while hanging
Yeah.
out with friends. And I think that's the same
Yeah.
argument with MMOs. It's like, yeah, we got to do these quests
Exactly.
over and over and over and over, but you're doing it with friends.
Yeah. Which
So-
you could that's probably for every multiplayer game that's out
Yeah,
there
that's
too,
true.
or just any game in general. Like Skyrim isn't a multiplayer game unless you probably mod it and stuff like that.
Right.
But it's still like, a lot of people love and adore Skyrim, just not because it was quite a good game when it came out and probably still is, but because of the experiences that people could go and share with others when, they went
Mm.
to work the next day or school and stuff, like, "Oh my god, I fought this dragon last night. Are you guys up to this thing?" Like,
Yeah.
it's just the whole, you know, just hype around being able to talk about a game and, experience it with others as well in the same time frame. Like, it's a very cool, like, community, based
Mm.
thing, I guess,
Yeah.
Um, but it's yeah, and that's one thing I have been thinking about for New World is like, if I do get into it, who am I gonna play with?
Right.
Because like a couple of our like our closer group friend that plays Siege and all that sort of stuff, they're obviously very dedicated to Siege or similar types of games. And so they weren't too hyped about New World and things like that. And so
Mm-hmm.
I'm now thinking it's like, am I gonna bother with it because am I gonna get sick of sort of playing with myself or, just one or two other people rather than like all, 9 or 10 of us, what have you?
Yeah.
So it's like it's yeah. But I don't know. It's
We'll
it's very
see.
exciting for the devs to have like, nearly 1 million players on the first day try and access their
It's
game.
incredible.
Like that's a really good stat to have on your sheet or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anywho's, I'm sure we're going to hear more about New World over the coming weeks as more and more people finally get
Mm-hmm.
access to it and can load into the servers and not wait in queues for 6 hours and stuff like that. I think I saw when I was having lunch earlier in the Barjo Discord, people were still like just today trying to get on and access servers, and they were still having
Yeah.
to wait in queues. Like obviously a lot smaller than the queues that were last night, but there are still queues. So it's yeah, I feel like we're going to expect this for the next couple of days. But yeah, very exciting time to be an MMO fan, I guess. It's also very exciting, Jens, to
Mm.
be a first-person shooter fan, and not only just a first-person shooter fan,
Yes.
but a Battlefield fan, because
Yes.
all of us Battlefield fans finally got news on when the beta is going to begin, and it begins on October 8th on all platforms, which is kind of interesting to me because
Yeah.
I feel like all of the recent betas that have been like big have been limited to one platform, or they were like, on one platform for a week and then got everyone else
Yeah.
onto it. Like it's yeah, but it's cool that everyone can access it at the exact same time, Um, but
I'm
yeah.
very excited for
So
this.
I can't wait. I can't wait. Is it an open beta? It is an open beta, yeah. So
The
we don't have
open
to pre-order or
beta
anything
is
like
on
that.
October 8th. I don't know if people who pre-ordered will get early access.
I feel like they would have to, right? I feel like that was
I
one of the
feel like
stipulations in the pre-order deal was that you do get early access to a beta, and it might only be like 2 days or something like that. Like they might get access on October
oh,
6th or
hang on, I'm
something.
reading it
Like,
now.
mm,
So the Battlefield 2042 beta downloads will be enabled for all players on October 5th, with the early access period unlocking at 12 a.m. PT.
okay, yeah,
So I guess they get it 3 days early.
yeah. So it means everyone can preload it at the exact same time, but
But
only the people that
only early
pre-ordered get
access
it
people can play it
at that
then.
access time. Yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense. Yeah,
And then on October 8th, everyone else can play it.
everyone gets it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's yeah, that's fine. That's cool because I haven't pre-ordered. I sort of don't want to pre-order too many things.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
So it is cool that we still get access to it regardless. But yeah, the beta is going to include the conquest game mode that everyone sort of knows and loves from the Battlefield franchise on the map called Orbital, which was shown in the reveal trailer. On all of the next gen consoles, so PS5s and the new Xbox and what have you, and PC, it'll be available to 128 players per map. But everyone that's still unfortunately stuck on the original Xbox One or PS4 and whatnot, will be the normal 64 players that were in Battlefield 4, 5, Battlefield 1, all the other ones they've released recently. But yeah, very exciting. I can't wait for this. I feel like I will preload the beta just so
I reckon
know
it's
that it's
worth
ready
it.
to go, and yeah, for sure. For sure.
It's
Like
gonna
I
be a
played
big download, but I think it'd be worth it.
I did play the Call of Duty beta, the Vanguard
Oh,
one.
did you? How?
Because PlayStation 5 players got early access to it for a week.
Well, how was it?
I didn't like it. I didn't. I
Oh,
wasn't a
okay.
yeah, I wasn't a big fan. Wasn't a big fan.
What in what
I
way?
just I've just never been a big fan of the Call of Duties that are based on like World War One, World War Two,
Mm.
and things like that. Just because I've always felt a bit sluggish and a bit slow. Like I don't know if it's just me or it. Yeah, and like, this saying too. I am now a converted first person shooter player. I did used to play all my first person shooters on console because that's all I had access to.
Same.
But now since I've got my PC a couple of years ago, I am almost exclusively on PC, and so I could have just been feeling sluggish because I was on
A
the
console.
sticks. I was on a controller. I wasn't on keyboard and mouse. Um, so that could be a reason for it. But yeah, I don't know. I just wasn't a big fan of it.
Fair
I
enough.
don't think I'm going to be picking it up. And I think as well with a lot of my friends, we've been talking about it. I feel like a lot of them feel the same way too.
Mm.
I feel like this is going to be a very Battlefield year for all of us. I feel
I
like that's
think,
with the one that we're going to be picking up. Like
yeah. Like
so.
the Call of Duty and Battlefield War has been on for quite a while because they usually release around
Mm.
the same time.
They
Um,
usually have about a 2 or 3 weeks between the
yeah, really
releases or whatever.
small gap.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like Battlefield this year is going to be the one for a lot of people.
Hmm. I feel like that too. I feel like there's just a lot more buzz around Battlefield
Absolutely. I
2042
mean, the
compared to Call of Duty
whole
Vanguard as well.
lawsuit and all that jazz isn't helping
Exactly.
Activision at all.
Yeah, that didn't help at all. But I just feel like people are a bit sick of
Oh yeah.
games that are set in, World War One, World War Two, and all that. Like they just want modern shooters. That's why Modern Warfare, when that was remade,
Mm.
was such like a breath of fresh air for a lot of the Call of Duty fans because it was like, oh my god, this is exactly what we're after. We just want like a
Yeah.
modern shooter. That's it. Just give me that. And I think that's why Battlefield's, and that's why they released this year too, rather than like a new World War game.
Mm.
Uh, and it is set in the future, but it's not like it's the not too far distant future. It's
Yeah.
only about 20 years away, so it's like yeah, it's very plausible. Um,
Is this the
but yeah.
first one that Battlefield are doing in the future?
Um, there was a spin-off Battlefield game. I'm trying to remember. Uh, let me try and see if I can.
Sure.
Let me try and see if I can find it because I do. Okay, but there was Battlefield 2142. That's what I'm thinking of, and it came out in like 2006 or 2007 or something like that. And it was
Ah,
like it was like a spin-off sort of game. Um, you know, set in like yeah, I think it was based around like a new world war that
okay.
was happening in like 100 years or something like that. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Um, but that was sort of the last time that they did a big future type
Okay, interesting.
DLC thing. It was it is kind of interesting. I don't know if it was too well received or if it was like
Yeah,
too
probably
much of
not.
a
I haven't heard of it.
like a not a lot of people have. I feel like unless you were like a big Battlefield fan at the time,
Yeah.
because when Battlefield was first coming out, like it didn't have as much of a fan base as Call of Duty did. Call of Duty had basically all the power in like the
Yeah.
first person shooter realm, but I don't think it was until like Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4 that people really started to take notice and were like, holy shit, this is actually pretty cool. Like,
Mm-mm-mm.
this might be worth my time and money. Um, and yeah, and I feel like that's what Battlefield 2042 is going to be as well. I feel like
Yep.
that's going to be worth my time and money compared to the new Call of Duty. But, to each their own as well, like I said before.
So yeah, just to round out, the beta is open on October 8th and will run till October 10th. So good luck.
Yeah.
And you
Couple of
can
days. Yeah, a couple of
download
days.
it on October 5th. So preload that.
Correct. Probably because I'm expecting it to be quite big too, especially with a
Yeah.
lot of Australian internet still being quite shitty. You don't want to be the one friend of the group that is still waiting for the game to download
Yeah.
whilst everyone else is playing it, because that's not a fun experience. I hate that. Moving on, Jens. This is kind of exciting because just recently, me and Emma have been considering getting a VR headset.
This could be a
Um,
boost.
this could be a big push to get it because I do love a little bit of Resident Evil. Um, Resident Evil 4 VR version is releasing on October 21st, but only on the Oculus Quest 2, strangely. Quite kind of a kind of a weird one to sort of segregate
It
the
is a bit
VR fan
weird.
base like that. Like, especially because there's not that many AAA VR games that are coming out these days.
Mm.
It's like I feel like you'd want to put it on as many different versions of headsets as you possibly could. Um, but yeah, Capcom, I guess, have their reasons for it. But yeah, Resident Evil 4 VR was announced earlier this year, so this sort of isn't a surprise, but we do have a release date now. But Facebook and Capcom, as well as the development studio Armature, have only offered glimpses of the gameplay, including like just sort of a short-ish trailer. It's basically just like, the original content from Resident Evil 4 that came out a good couple of years ago,
Yeah.
but in VR, and sort of re-engineered to take, control of obviously the motion controls of VR and whatnot. So it's probably nothing too different from the original game, just VRified, if that's a word.
Yeah.
Um,
And a bit of more of a first person point of view, because Resident
yes.
Evil games are generally third, like over the shoulder.
It's only been since Resident Evil 7 that they've been in first person.
That's true,
and
yeah.
yeah. So it'd be interesting to see, I feel like these types of games are perfect for VR, It'd be like
Yeah.
it's sort of like reminds me of I know you're a big Time Crisis fan, but it reminds me of Time Crisis when you'd go to the cinemas or the arcade, because like they were in first person too when you were shooting
Mm-hmm.
everyone and stuff like that, and it's like I feel like this is a perfect sort of, you know, exact sort of example of that. And I feel like there was tons of like Time Crisis type games that were
Oh, there were
zombie based
heaps.
shooters. Like, so this it sort of reminds me of that era, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I haven't played Resident Evil 4, but I hear it's a really good one, so
I'm the same. I haven't played it because I am patiently waiting for a remaster or a
yeah.
remake to give it a go. And like we sort of covered a couple of weeks ago, I'm fairly confident that Capcom are making one,
Mm.
because of the tweet that they did. Um, but yeah, kind of exciting. It's weird that they would only put it on the Quest 2 though, because you have the normal Oculus, don't you?
I have the Rift S.
The Rift S. Yeah, okay. So so like
So
you won't
yeah,
even be able to play it.
I don't know why it's only for the Quest 2. I don't know
Yeah.
if it's some sort of engineering that can't be ported onto other ones, or if it's going to be a
Nah.
timed exclusive thing.
I see. I hope it's a timed. That's what I was thinking. In the write up, it doesn't say anything about it being a timed exclusive, but it wouldn't
Yeah,
surprise me if after a year or two,
they're going to open it up.
Capcom go like, "Hey, we're releasing this for, all the other sort of headsets that you can use." Because I feel like it's not even going to be on the Steam store, like the
Nah.
Quest 2, like the portable Quests or whatever that they
Mm.
have. They have like their own Oculus store, like built in and whatnot.
Yeah.
Where you can buy your own games through like Facebook with your Facebook account and all that sort of stuff because they're all linked. I feel like it's only going to be offered on that store too. It's not even going to be on Steam, you know. Um, so I wonder what the price point's going to be then, because I feel like those games are always expensive, like
Hopefully not
that are
too
put on their own
much.
proprietary stores.
Yeah,
Like
never
how you
heard
go to
of
the
it.
Nintendo store and like all the games are like $90, but then you go to like EB Games or JB Hi-Fi and it's like they're $69, and it's like,
Yeah.
geez, that's a markup. I feel like that's going to be the situation, but yeah, I don't know. It'd be exciting to see if they do release it for every other VR headset, because I feel like a lot of people are gonna want to play this. Because there are a lot of Resident Evil fans out there that have
Yeah.
always wanted to sort of immerse themselves more into the Resident Evil world. So, but yeah,
We'll see.
exciting anyways, because me and Emma were looking at getting a Quest 2 anyways. So,
Could be the right move.
all the power to me. um, Now, Jens, do you want to go over this topic, because I
Hmm.
remember talking about Netflix and video games just a couple of weeks back,
Yeah.
and this is a very big move.
Yeah, so it is happening. I don't know if you guys remember, but a couple of weeks back we spoke that Netflix are going to open or delve into gaming. Not sure in what form.
Yeah.
Some of the examples we had mentioned were the Bandersnatch Black Mirror one, where you
Yeah.
choose your own adventure with your remote, which was awesome.
Mm,
So
mm.
we're not sure how deep into gaming they're going to go, but Netflix has bought Night School Studio, which is the studio responsible for Oxenfree, a game I really wanted to try and play, but it is such a hard game to stream because there is so much talking. But I hear it's an amazing game. So
yeah, I've heard the same. It's very, very beloved sort of, mystery adventure sort of point and clicky type game. And yeah, kind of exciting. I feel like just looking at, I just had to look it up to remind myself as sort of what type of game Oxenfree was. And just a little synopsis here is Oxenfree is a supernatural mystery graphic adventure game, published by Night School Studio. So it feels like it's one of those like, how do I describe it? Like choose your own adventure type games where like you go to a crossroads, you get to pick and choose your own way, you talk to people and you get to choose the dialogues. And I
feel like that's the best way to do it when it comes to...
I feel like that's exactly what Netflix is doing, is they are going to do a very Bandersnatch type thing, and it's not going to be the traditional game where you sit down with a controller and, sort of interact with it in that sense. It's going to be you sit there with your TV remote, and you get to sort of pick and choose, options and things. It's very similar to Bandersnatch and all that.
Kind of cool.
It would be interesting. It is kind of cool because it gives these and it's big as well for these types of studios, because it lets them, tell more stories that they want to tell in a different way.
Yeah.
Because it's like I feel like a lot of these games too, they might have like a creative person might have this idea and be like, oh my god, I growing up I really wanted this to be a movie or a game or a TV show, but and then they go, but I don't want it to be like a first person shooter. I don't want it to be a puzzle game. I don't want it to be like I sort of just want to tell a story, but I also don't want to write a book. I want it to make it slightly interactive. And so that's why they make these types of like very story oriented games that don't have too much gameplay, but are very sort of, just linear. And like you get to pick a couple of different options because they just want to tell a story. And so this would be cool from Netflix's point of view because it allows these creators to tell a story in like a different sort of medium, like it's just something new to explore. And it'd be real interesting to see who else they sort of, purchase to add to their arsenal of, I guess, developers. I don't know if developers would be the right word to use. I'd probably more go for storytellers, like, but it's cool to see, like it's very interesting.
Yeah, I guess we'll wait for more news about that and see what game they make. But it will be available to everyone who has Netflix. So no.
I was gonna say, I was just about to say the thing is too, like we don't even have to pay for anything
exactly
extra at this stage. But yeah, very interesting. So I might have to actually play Oxenfree to be able to sort of understand this they're making, because it is going to be a sequel to Oxenfree in some sort of way. I don't know if it's going to be like a direct continuation or if it's just going to use some of the same characters or whatnot. But it is going to be a sequel.
Yeah. So the studio is still going to make the sequel to Oxenfree. It probably won't be published on Netflix's.
I don't think so. Yeah.
Thing, but it is now under Netflix's ownership because they bought the studio.
Hang on.
What?
Do you maybe think that Netflix just bought the studio so that they now own the rights to Oxenfree because they're thinking about making a Netflix TV show, like a Netflix original based off it?
I don't know. I don't know the story of Oxenfree or like the game enough. I don't think they would do that. I feel like they just would want the workers in Night School Studio to help build this game for them more than a TV show, I reckon.
I mean, it could just be like the writers too. I don't know. That's very interesting. That's the interesting thing about though. Like, who knows? Anywho's, moving on to more Netflix news.
Yes.
Okay, have you started Squid Game, Jenz?
I have 20 minutes. Have you?
Okay, no,
Have
I
you heard
have
about
been
it?
meaning to. I have, a lot of my friends are talking about it, and
Okay, I
obviously
swear
the whole
everyone's
internet is
talking
talking
about
about it.
it.
It's yeah, it's kind of hard to escape, you know. I feel like it's everywhere. Like every time I open TikTok, it's like I get a new clip
Yes.
from Squid Game, and it's like, oh my god, look at this. I'm like, okay, you know, it's yeah, but it is very intriguing. I have added it to my watch list. I have just got to find the time to sort of fit it in. Um, but you know, with all of the people talking about it and all the hype around it, I do
Mm.
feel like I want to check it out. Like it seems like a pretty cool concept. Um, I am not going to watch it though in the weird English dub.
Oh no.
Because that just that's like that irks me. You know, that
Yeah.
rubs me the wrong way.
Anything
It
foreign,
doesn't feel right.
watch it in that language.
Yeah.
Because
And
it,
I get you know, it's what was I going to say? I saw someone talk about it on TikTok earlier.
mm,
A lot of people were like, oh, I had to watch it in the English dub because, like, you know, I have ADHD or, you know, something like that
right.
where I can't really focus on subtitles. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. But, you know, um,
Where able would
for those that
recommend.
can, you know,
Yeah.
watch it and are interested in watching it, I would strongly recommend just using the subtitles because the English dub's just weird. I don't know. I feel like I wouldn't be able to watch it normally. Like I feel like it would keep bothering me, you know?
Mm.
But yeah. Anywho's this story though, because apparently Squid Game is bigger than Bridgerton.
Yeah.
Bigger than Bridgerton. That's incredible. Like this thing came out of nowhere too. And for such like for an international series as well, that's like not in English, quite incredible, you know?
Yeah.
Um
As a Korean, this is really cool to see.
yeah.
Um,
Off the back end of Parasite as well, just from like a year or
yeah.
two ago, like when that came out and that blew up and it won, you know, a bunch of awards and it was yeah. We
Mm.
actually watched that on the weekend, me and Emma.
Yeah, I
She said
heard.
she loved it. Like it was yeah. It was good to watch it again. But it's yeah, very interesting. Do you want to take the
Yeah.
story away from me though, Jens? Because I feel like
Sure.
you would understand it a bit more than I would.
Sure. I only watched one episode of Bridgerton. I didn't actually jump on the Bridgerton train, but it was,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
those who don't know, it's a period drama that launched on Christmas Day last year on Netflix, and it was proclaimed to be the biggest show ever until
Mm.
Squid Game came.
Hang on though.
Huh.
Hang on though.
What?
Does Netflix imply that that's the biggest show ever because of just the scale of like the drama and the story writing
I
and maybe
reckon
like the
just the
production of
number
it,
of
or
people watching.
do they mean the biggest show in terms of the numbers? Yeah, the biggest people, like how many people are
Yeah.
watching it? Because it's like
Yeah.
that could
I
be interpreted
reckon.
any way.
True. But I reckon it's
Because it also
numbers.
depends. It also depends when they made that claim. Because it's like if
Yes.
they made that claim as it was coming out, like this is the biggest
They
show ever.
didn't
It's like obviously that's a
say
marketing thing, but
it was January when it was proclaimed by Netflix to be
oh,
the biggest
okay.
show.
So
So
like
who
a month or so.
a month
Yeah, okay.
after. So who
Yeah.
knows if they're fluffing their own, show,
Yeah.
but yeah.
I mean, hey,
So
be proud of your own work. You know, be proud of your
yeah,
work.
that's true.
That's cool, Netflix. You know.
Squid Game released on September 17th, and within 48 hours, it
Mm.
has entered the top 10 shows globally. And on,
It's currently number one in Australia. I do want
yeah,
to say that on Netflix.
as
It's
of
currently number
September
one at the
21,
top 10 list. Yeah,
it took this
that's
top
incredible.
spot, which is insane.
That's
Just
incredible.
a quick, like, overall of
Synopsis.
of what it is. It's
Yeah.
a gory drama thriller series where hundreds of cash-strapped players accept a strange invitation to compete in children's games with deadly high stakes for incredible prizes. So it kind of reminds me of like Hunger Games, but
It's
with
the K drama version of Hunger Games.
yeah,
Like
but
it.
more
Yeah.
like a more like game
It's
showy rather than
it's
like
yeah, and it also doesn't have the thing of it happens every year where people from each district are like just
yeah,
chosen at
not
random to
like
go and
that.
represent their area. It's like these people are desperate for money or they're
Yeah.
they're like they want to get out of where they are or something like that. So they obviously sort of it feels like they have no choice but to accept this invitation
Exactly.
because just like the sheer prospect of possibly getting, a million Korean, is it won? Is that what I
One.
think it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like a million
A
Korean
million
won
won
or
isn't
something
a
like
lot,
that is
actually.
like, it's not a lot. It's, yeah. But, you know,
But a million
like sort of the
worth in
a million
Aussie
US
dollars or
dollars or
something.
something.
Yeah.
It's, I did see, speaking of that though, I did see a funny TikTok where it was like the guy was sitting there watching the Squid Game, and he's like, I feel like I'm doing this every 15 minutes, and you know, he
Converting.
had to look up the conversion
Yeah.
rates between what the Korean won was to like Australian dollars.
That's
And
what
he was
I was
like, oh, a
doing.
million. He was like, you know, it was like 1.5 million won, and he looks it up, and it's like 10,600 Australian. He's like, I wouldn't do that for that. Like, you know, and I was like, that's kind of funny because yeah, it
Yeah.
is like in a lot of these countries, like, you know, it's their concept of like money is completely different. Like going to Japan, it's like
Yeah.
you look at things and it's like 300,000 yuan, and you're like, wait a second, that's a lot of money. But then you convert it and it's like $36, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, I can afford that.
Is it Zimbabwe that has like $1 trillion note or something?
Yeah, they
Yeah,
ruined
could you
their
imagine?
market somehow. That's incredible. Oh, but yeah.
So yeah, I would highly recommend, and I mean, I feel like everyone who listens probably has already seen it. I feel like the whole internet, except for me and Ramo, has seen it.
Yeah,
so yeah, let us know if you're enjoying it, if you finished it, or we'll check it out.
I think they've already announced their season 2 is
really
greenlit, or if they or like there's a lot of talk around the potential for a season 2 I've seen.
Cool.
So it would be cool to see if they do continue this and, you know, do more, because it is a Netflix original. So you know, obviously Netflix owns the rights to the show and all that, so they can sort of greenlight whatever they want. But I feel like with all this buzz around it, I feel like
I was
they
gonna
have no real
say
choice.
exactly.
Like, you'd be shooting yourself in the foot if you didn't want to make a season 2. But if you do make a season 2, you've got to make it as good as season 1, if not better.
Yeah, it has to be better.
If not better. Because you can't have that like season 2 drought. Like,
that's true.
It's a no-go. But yeah, I'm excited to start it. I'm very excited to start it.
Me too. I'm dying to finish the first episode.
Anywho, moving on to our last topic, Jenz. Did you get a chance to watch?
I did.
Last week's What If? Oh,
I did.
Good. Did you like it?
I did. It was not what I expected.
No, it's very different. But before we go on, we are going to preface this by saying we are obviously going to talk about What If spoilers. So if you guys haven't seen episode 7, which was like the Thor party episode, if you guys don't want spoilers, like I said, you can stop listening now, and we'll see you next week. Thank you guys for listening and watching. But if you have seen it and you want to hear us talk about it, congratulations.
Welcome.
Yeah, like I touched on a little bit last week.
Yeah.
I didn't want to go into too much about it because obviously I didn't want to spoil it for those that hadn't seen it. We were obviously talking about episode 6 last week. Like I said, I really enjoyed this episode. I think it's honestly one of my favorite ones of What If so far. Because it was just a lot of fun. You know, like it was really didn't take
light.
itself seriously. It didn't, you know, it didn't try and like, you know, tell like a very deep or emotional story. It didn't try and like, you know, have epic act. It was just a lot of fun, you know?
Yeah.
And and I feel like that's what a lot of these What If type things were like in the comics too. When I've read some of them, like they never took themselves seriously. They were sort of like, you know, oh, what if like Ant-Man was stuck tiny and had to like live like that for the rest of life? Like, you know, they're just kind of silly premises in a lot of the ones. So it's like, it was cool to see just something stupid like this pop up. And it was just fun to see like all the different cameos and whatnot that they had throughout, like all the characters that showed up. It was a lot of fun. So I don't know. I just really enjoyed it.
Yeah, like the whole premise of it was like Thor being a naughty boy. It was
he was like a child. It was like Chad Thor, you know.
That's spoiled, like, you know.
Yeah.
Kind of like what Loki
Mummy
would
and Daddy's
do.
money, like, you know, just goes out partying every weekend and sort of has no concept of like his actions can have consequences for others, and exactly. It was it's sort of like the teen drama Thor. Teen drama version of Thor.
And then mom comes and, you know, he has to clean up his act or whatever. Yeah. It was so random. It was so random, but
It was when I saw like the post because, like I said, they sort of post like a little screenshot or a poster
Mm.
of the episode like a day or two before it comes out, just to remind people that there is an episode of What If this week. And when I saw it, and like he had like all of this like glitter and like tinsel and like these party lights and probably a beer cup sitting on Mjolnir as he was holding it, I was like, it's a really weird shot, but all right. And then when I watched it, it made a lot more sense. But
Yeah,
it's a very curveball sort of premise. But it as much as it is a curveball, it does fit Thor's character. I feel quite well.
I think
You know,
so.
I feel like out of all of the Avengers, maybe bar Tony Stark,
Mm.
this it's the most Thor sort of. Or it fits Thor's character the most. Like I'd be very surprised if like Black Widow did something like this, or
That's true.
Hawkeye was like this. I feel like that it wouldn't make much sense, but Thor is kind of like, it hits the nail on the head. Especially
Yeah.
like because we saw in Endgame, him sitting in the couch with Korg as like, bro Thor, just playing Fortnite. Like at the end of the day, he just likes a bit of video games. He just like a bit of a chillax and party.
Don't we all?
Um, so yeah, don't we all? Don't we all? But
Yeah,
yeah,
that was a
no,
good
I
one.
love this episode. I thought it was great. It's yeah.
And so there are 10 episodes in total? Or
Hmm.
8? Okay, so we got 3 more.
We got no, sorry, no, nine episodes. They
Oh,
were meant to be
9.
10, but they cut one, so we have
2 more then.
2 more episodes. Yeah. There should be one coming out. I forget what the one is tonight. I don't know if I've seen any of
I
the
haven't seen
screenshots for it,
anything.
which is fun because now I'm going in blind. Um, but yeah, so I'm very excited to see what the last 2 episodes are. I do just want to say too, though,
Mm.
me and Emma were looking at it's sort of a weird thing to bring up, but me and Emma were looking at the Lego website to see when the new Lego Mario set came out.
Oh, yeah.
And we noticed that they do, the little mystery bags of Lego minifigures that you find like in the Lego
Yeah.
section. They're doing what do you call it? Like Marvel, they're doing a Marvel series currently.
Cool.
I'll try and pull it up actually because there were a really good bunch of
Like, you don't know which Marvel Lego man you're gonna
yeah,
get?
exactly. You don't. Yeah, I think there's like 9 or 10 of them or something like that.
Oh,
And it's
wow.
you don't know which ones you're gonna get. But they do have a couple of all the characters from like the newer Marvel TV shows. So I do want to go through a couple of them because they're
Oh.
very exciting. So there's the White Vision that we saw in WandaVision and whatnot, and then you
Yeah.
also do have Wanda herself in her Scarlet Witch outfit.
Yes.
We have the new Captain America, the Captain Falcon in all his big American suit, and then we also have sort of the new version of Bucky Barnes, who also comes with a Captain America shield.
Ooh.
And then we move on to the what if sort of ones, and there's a bunch of what if ones.
Mm.
You have the Zombie Hunter Spider-Man, which I really want because it's got like the big
Oh,
Doctor Strange
cool.
cape on him, and I'm like, that looks sick. You've got Zombie Captain America. You have Gamora, but I can't remember if this Gamora is. It looks like she's in like the Thanos armor, and I can't remember what scene she was from,
Mm.
or this was from in the What If, but I'm here for it. It looks cool. Then you have Sylvie from the Loki TV show with a tiny little crocodile as well, which is great. You then have T'Challa as Star-Lord, which is kind of fun too.
Oh, cool. What the fuck? I need this link.
You have Captain Carter with the Tesseract and her British Captain America
Oh.
shield. And then
This
another
is the
one that
best
I
for
really,
last.
really, really want is Loki in his TVA sort of jacket and tie, and like he has a little TVA mug, but his little accessory is a tiny frog Thor.
Oh my god!
And it looks fucking incredible. I'm gonna send this to you now, Jenz, actually, so you can sort of have a look at it and like get a live reaction.
I
I just sent you
need.
the link in the thing. The tiny frog Thor is exceptional. It's like
Okay,
the
they're
perfect
$6. I'm
minifigure.
doing this.
Yeah, yeah. But the thing you got to do, Jenz, is like me
What?
and Emma, how we do it is we go to like Big W or like sort of any store that has a toy store, and we stand in the toy aisle and we feel the packet and we
Oh,
try and
yeah,
figure out
of
what one it
course.
is, because obviously you're going to get duplicates and things like that. And the
Wait.
amount of time we have spent in the aisle at Big W feeling, Lego packets is honestly quite incredible.
Wait. So when this does release, it says October 1st. Can we open them
Yes.
on, I don't know, the podcast or something?
I'm sure we can figure something out. We
Or,
can do like an unboxing type thing.
I don't know,
Yeah,
our own time.
that's cool. I'm down for that.
We can share
do
it on
have
the
to-
podcast.
What I was going to say is that probably going to have to wait a little bit until we can get to stores, because stores here open up on October
Oh,
11th. It's pinned for us, so we can do it. It just might be like a week or two late after they
Okay.
come out, which is fine because I don't expect these to sell out.
you know,
A lot of the time they print so many of these minifigs. It's
yeah,
not even
that's
funny.
true.
And this is quite a small set compared to some of the other collections that they've done. Like some of the other minifigure collections have like, I think 20 plus minifigures in like the whole set. So it like takes you quite a while to sort of get them all and things like that without any duplicates. So I feel like this one, because there's only 12, it's going to be a little bit easier to collect them all, you know?
All right.
But yeah, we can definitely do it because I do want a couple of these. They look great. And I have like a whole up on my shelf. I can't show you because it's all like sort of set up properly, but I have almost all of the Mario series minifigures, and then a bunch of random other minifigures that I've collected over the years.
Oh, yeah.
From these sets too. They're so fun because it's $5 or something like that, or $6, and you get like an exclusive minifigure that you don't find in any of the other like official sets. Like it is a very like I have the corn dog man that's dressed in like he looks like a corn cob. It's like
Nice.
I have a little minifigure that's got a plane strapped around her waist. Like they're just very random little collectibles, and they're just fun.
Oh my
You know,
god, I'm so excited for those.
So I just thought I'd tack that on because it sort of fits in with the whole what if stuff, and I thought
Yeah.
it was fun when we found it.
That's great.
Yeah.
All right. Well, on
Anyhow.
that note,
Yeah. Before we spend any more money, was there anything you wanted to add on before we wrap up, Jenz?
no.
I'm the same. I can't think of anything at the moment. So, as always, thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. And we will see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.